All right, Pablo. How you doing, man?
My dog, I'm chilling, homie. How about you?
Good. So you, man, you I think it's fair to say that it takes a specific human being that's gonna be like, I'm gonna do MMA, right? But
Yeah,
and most people they'll try it and they won't continue to do
they
it,
won't continue. Nah, not
right?
really.
So like, what is it that got you into? What got you into it? Why do you stay? Why do you keep fighting?
It's kind of like just it was so weird because it's like everyone's got their own reasons as to why they want to like start like fighting or training. A lot of people are like I was picked on my whole life, and other people
Yeah.
was like I was just always angry, and it's like growing up you get a little mixture of everything, but it was just like I remember I was like what. I was like 12, 11 or something like that. My bad, it's my
Oh,
phone.
dude, I thought it was
That's the
I thought it was the
phone.
camera, bro.
You're like,
And I was like, what the fuck is going on?
No, it was like, is it lightning outside? It's daytime.
I was like, how is that happening?
That makes no sense. No.
By the
I
way,
was
that
like,
setting is the freakiest fucking setting.
dude, it really is. I'll be in the middle of nowhere and it just, oh shit, what is
What's
it?
going
It's
on?
my phone. I got a message. No, my mom's calling me. My bad.
Go ahead.
But I was like 12 years old, and I think I was eating a lot. I was getting like a little chunky. And my brother was telling my parents like, yo, you got to put him into something.
Oh shit.
And I was always into I noticed I like now that I look back, I was always into like some form of fighting. I watched WWE a lot with my brother.
Yeah,
Then my
boy.
yeah, you feel me? I love WWE, like Triple H and Randy Orton.
Those are the
all
good
those.
times.
It was great. Undertaker.
Yeah.
My favorite was Rey Mysterio because he was a small guy,
dude,
and he was doing the crazy stuff, and I was like, yo,
yeah.
bro, Rey Mysterio was the best. And then I remember my best friends at the time. Alexis from Ghost of Daniel Perez.
Solis, the brown belt.
Yeah,
I've never met him, but I think I never met him, but I have seen him train and I think compete as well.
Okay, so I grew up with him like pretty much my whole life.
Okay.
And growing up, I remember I was always like, whenever we go over, him and his family, like his brothers, they always did karate. They always did, jiu-jitsu competitions, karate, and I was like, oh, I want to do something, but we were like kind of like far away at the time, or I guess, and
far away from where he was training.
From where he was training, but that's what we thought. It really wasn't that far, but I ended up training there at some point. But first, they put me in Taekwondo, and then I was like, oh, cool. So I just started doing Taekwondo. I did Taekwondo for like 3 years, and it was like they got me athletic. It was learning a lot of cool kicks. And then it got expensive. And then I was like, 13, and I already knew. I was like, this isn't real fighting though. Like,
yeah.
It's just kicks. It's good, but it's just kicks.
Yeah.
So they put me in karate right with him, and it was cool because then everyone there was it felt like one of those old like legit karate schools. Everyone was hard. Training was rough. You sparred hard. You had training partners try to jump you to teach you how to fight.
Real.
Yeah, it was really good. The tests were real. Everything was great. So it just I always knew I wanted to do the real thing.
Yeah.
But nothing was in my head where I was like, oh, I want to compete.
Yeah, dude, that's crazy. Like how you say there was the real karate, because there is like a difference between that more realistic karate than there is like striking than the ones that you see nowadays when it comes to karate, bro. Like, there's some fake ass karates out there.
Dude.
And it's good that you got into the one that was realistic.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Because I think that also mentally, being able to
it
fight
teaches you different.
Exactly, it teaches you different. You don't have that. At least when it comes to striking, you don't have that false sense of confidence. You've been hit. You know how to hit.
False sense of confidence. That's really where it was at. That's where a lot of martial arts at. Even same thing with Taekwondo. It's it's not a complete martial art, but you do a real training Taekwondo, real legit instructors, high level Olympic trainers. Bro, I guarantee you, just because you only do Taekwondo doesn't mean you can't beat up 3 guys at the same time.
No, dude, 100%.
Real quick,
dude, especially that old school Taekwondo.
Oh yeah, old school.
The old school Taekwondo. I used to do Taekwondo too. My brother was really into it, and competing and everything. Then the old school Taekwondo, when it was they were kicking hard and for knockouts, not for that point system that they have now, which has always been a point system. They kick to knock you the fuck out. And there's some highlight reel knockouts that from back in the day. Dude, savage,
dude,
bro.
nasty.
And the dexterity in your legs that you get from Taekwondo, bro.
Flexibility, the agility, all that is crazy. It's absolutely crazy.
So you did 3 years of Taekwondo?
I did 3 years of Taekwondo.
So you got your black belt?
No. I could have got my black belt, but I was also slacking in school. So my parents are like, you're not going to get any promotion until you fix your schoolwork. So it was I'd fix it enough to get promoted, but then I'd slack again. And the same thing happened in karate when we finished because it was too expensive, and they moved me to karate with my friends and all that. And it was the same thing. At some point, they were like, oh, my instructor was talking to me. He goes, I want to give you this, but I'm not going to because your parents are telling me. And I was like, fuck. I was so all right.
What belt did you get to karate?
Karate got to brown. I got to brown. I could have gotten to like red, but
that's pretty high though.
It was high. It was good.
Is it karate like Japanese? So it's brown black.
It goes brown, red, black.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
okay.
brown, red, black, and they kind of prolonged it a bit. So they go brown with black stripe, and then red with black stripe, and then black, and then
they give you that
or black with a white stripe, and and then pure black belt. So.
Yeah, that's awesome, dude.
But it was fun.
How many years did you do karate?
Another 3 years.
Fuck. And you started, so that was like when you were 15.
Right. When you were 15. I stopped karate when I was like 16. So I stopped. Yeah, I think it was like I was 16 around there. A little because I already had my first kickboxing fight. That's actually why I stopped going to karate, because they kicked me out because of that.
Because of the kickboxing fight?
Because I was like, because I moved to Homestead. Yeah. So I chose training at a gym in Florida City, and it was like a Muay Thai boxing gym and MMA. Sick. It was great. And I trained with those people for like a long time. But when I had my first fight with them, I was like, okay, I'm training karate on my classes, and then when I get back down, I could train the fight gym. So I was having, as a 16-year-old kid, I'm having a great time. It's like, my parents are taking me here. Class is over. Then I go to here, and then it's like, and then I'll skateboard. It was great. It was great.
So there was no fucking screen time for you, bro.
Dude, no, bro. Oh my god, it was just karate and then train and then just go to sleep. I barely played video games ever. Like my brother played. I never played video games, but yeah, they kicked me out because they were like, loyalty, train at one gym. That's and it's ridiculous. Like, I am loyal. I want to fight.
I'm learning some other shit.
Yeah, it's like you teach me karate. I learned some Muay Thai and boxing, you know, and some wrestling. It's like, come on, it was great.
Dude, but back in those, how old are you now?
24. I don't know what I had to
I remember about like 10 years ago, that idea of like, you have to be loyal to this gym, you can't cross train or you can't go to it was huge.
Huge.
It was huge.
They were so tight on that. Like from anywhere you went, it was just like most gyms that I went to, it's like, oh yeah, no, I don't think my sensei would like it, and I was like, why? Stop being such a bitch. It's like, just relax, listen up, bro.
That's a conversation we've had a lot, especially on this podcast, the issue of cross training, which I think that it's not an issue, especially in jiu-jitsu, and it's not an issue anymore.
Definitely not. No.
It's becoming less of an issue for you to be able to go cross train, because people are starting to see like that's like a red flag. Like it's like, okay,
unless you're like a fight sports guy,
wrong with
message.
What happened?
Unless you're like a fight sports guy, then it's like you only train with us.
Oh, really? It's like that.
I mean, for it's kind of from what I noticed for some guys that I knew that train. Okay. Yeah, it's like you train with mostly them. It's like you only need to train with them.
I mean, like they say it's an issue of like insecurity or losing students or whatever, but in reality, if you like where you train, you're not gonna have an issue like coming back to where you go. You know
exactly.
What I mean?
You always come back to your sensei, your gym.
Dude, I train at Daniel President. I train at Ground Game Theory, and neither of them.
Oh, you train at Ground Game?
Yeah, and neither of them give a fuck where I train.
They don't care.
Like I'm not a competitor either, so I'm not like somebody that's like representing. But even if you were, it's like no, they wouldn't give a shit.
You know what I mean?
Either of them wouldn't care.
Like none of my coaches except Danny have like an official gym that's under them. So I train under their name. I don't train under a gym.
So where's that at? Where do you train at? Like, who do you train under?
So like I train under Josh Mercado, Fireball MMA. So in the MMA community, it's like Fireball MMA. They'd be like, oh, okay, Fireball, yeah, they'll know Fireball. It's not like it's a gym. They just know his name, his brand. Okay. And like that's who I train under.
That's all MMA?
Yeah, that's all. He's my striking coach, but he's like for MMA. He's an MMA fighter. He's fought back in the day, lots of pro fights, really good. Even to this day, he's just doesn't train, so he gets a little tired. But like, he really kicked my ass. After 2 rounds, he'll give it to me real good. And then Elvin Espinoza.
Oh, Elvin Espinoza. Yeah, he's Ground Game.
Yeah, he goes to Ground Game. Yeah, that's how I heard about Ground Game, because I know I have a friend named John Ramirez.
Okay. Yes.
He goes there.
Yeah.
Little big boy.
Yeah.
Homeboy, love that guy. So he goes there, and then Elvin goes there.
John Ramirez, dude, that guy's. I think if I'm thinking of the right guy, he's lost a lot of weight.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's really taking training seriously.
He's really taking it
I've only talked to him like once or twice, and I've trained with him.
Yeah.
Super nice guy.
Dude, super nice. And yeah, he's lost a lot of weight for that. So it's like he's taking it seriously. He's and every time we train together too, it's like he looks like he's getting better. So
he is getting better,
I heard Ground Game I heard some good things about Ground Game.
Yeah, it's good. But Ground Game is a really good spot.
Yeah, it's very. I heard they're good. And then Elvin Espinoza, yeah, he's my wrestling coach, and then I just finished training with my strength coach. So
you have the strength and conditioning that you just came from.
Yeah.
You have an MMA coach, and you do wrestling specifically with Elvin?
Specifically with Elvin, yeah. Anything that's wrestling, like, it's MMA, so we start off with striking kicks and all that, but it's the sequences, the base, the whole drill's wrestling based.
That's pretty fucking cool. And he's an MMA fighter, bro.
He's active, good, and it's
he's with the big dogs.
He's good, man.
So that guy could probably mentor you not only in wrestling MMA, but he probably has like such a good understanding of what it takes to get to
get to like the big promotions that you want to compete in. Yeah.
Right. He's very business wise too, right?
He's very in business sense. He's very like aware.
That's
you know,
good.
he's like he knows like these people you should talk to, this guy you should talk to, this people you should expose yourself more. This is what you want to do business wise. If you want to get sponsors, this is the way to make a deal with them. And like he's so at little by little, he's always like trying to inform me, teach me. You know, we go out to eat after a training session. He'll be like, "This is what you should do. This, you know, this
That's
type
so
of
important, dude.
it's so important, man." And that's like I learned so much hanging out with like my coaches, like going just. They're my friends. That's a cool thing. That's another thing. A lot of people back in the day, I feel like, you know, your coach is your coach, your sensei, but that's it.
Yeah.
Now it's like my coaches, like they're my homies,
right?
They're my friends. You feel me? Uncle Danny, and my Uncle Josh, I call him like my big sister. Almost like my big bro. Gloria, she's like my freaking sister as well. Like they're all like family. So that's the cool thing.
It's a good culture to have, especially in the fight game. Dude.
Especially, dog, because you don't want no stress, and it's like who better to like help you than people who are like family.
Right.
If no one feels like family, they can be great, but if they don't feel like family, there's certain things you're never gonna feel comfortable with.
Yeah, that mental aspect of like feeling supported, like feeling because you already have so much stress when it comes into like actually fighting and competing, right? The stress of competing in MMA has to be extreme. Like I've competed in judo and jiu-jitsu, and there's stress behind that, but there's got to be another layer when it comes to MMA. You know what I mean?
It is hard to explain like that level of stress because it's like you get used to it, but it's not really like but it doesn't change. That type of like stress and pressure, it's always going to be there. Those little nerves are always going to be there, but it's like you do get used to it. So like it feels, it's like a trick. It's like you think it got easier, but it's still there. You just learn how to manage it better. You know, that's really what it is. You just learn how to manage it better. You learned how to like, oh, okay, I know what this is now. I know how to deal with this. I know how to approach the situation now. Before it was like it's the same thing, but you were like, what do I do?
Yeah. How do I deal with it?
And the adrenaline is just off the rocket.
So how do you deal with it?
It's well. First and foremost, you just gotta keep doing it.
Yeah, exposure therapy.
Exposure therapy. Exactly. You just gotta keep doing it. Keep putting yourself in things that make you like nervous. So I know like whenever I knew a good sparring partner was gonna show up to a gym, then that same kind of feeling of when you're gonna fight would come up because it's like, damn, like I gotta get into the work. Or my coach would call me and be like, yo, we're doing Shark Tank on you. So it's like, I know I'm about to get in there and like everyone's going to line up to whoop my ass and it's going to be like, damn. So it's like those same little nerves. It's like, okay, if I feel that every single time he tells me we're going to do this and it's the same similar type of feeling I'm about to fight, I just got to do this all the time.
Yeah.
And it sucks. But it's like, now you get to the gym. Oh, this guy does this to me. Let's go again. This is what's going to happen in the training session. All right, let's go again. And back in the day, like when I used to train with my head coach at the time, that's how it felt like when I was going to train with him personally. Like we do the class, we do the drills, your partners, but when it's one-on-one, you get almost a heart attack because you knew you were about to die. You just knew you were going to die. You knew he was going to get you to the point where you couldn't move your arms, couldn't kick, fall to the floor. He was going to yell at you, call you a pussy. He was going to he was Mexican, so he'd be like, dale cabrón, pussy, kick harder, pussy. And I'm just like, I'm kicking as hard as I can. As hard as I can. I can't even lift my leg and you're telling me to kick harder?
Yeah, like, but there's a really good thing that comes from pushing your training harder than what you would get in a fight.
Yeah. That's why they say, what's it called? The more you sweat in training, the less you bleed in war.
Yeah, that's my sentiment behind. Like that's the sentiment behind what I'm saying.
Exactly. So which is true. Like if you really stay consistent in the gym, you show up to your classes, you do the side work, and you push. You know, like you also got to understand. Like there's days to rest. There's days where like you got to focus more on technique and details. In certain situations where it's like you got to push the conditioning, you got to push your strength, you got to push your speed. Everything still requires like a mental, because like, you know, you could be chilling doing technique, but then it's like you're sore and it's boring and it's early, you're tired, you know, maybe you have a little injury, maybe you got something to do right after. And so it's like you really got to focus on just the technique, just drilling, just going through the motion. So you got to learn how to clear your head out. And then it's like you can clear your head out easy when you're going hard, because it's like, I'm going hard, my only focus is just to survive.
True.
But then it's like, now I gotta learn how to figure out how to be technical while I'm being pushed mentally, and then I gotta work on my cardio, then I gotta be like, just breathe, just focus on my breathing. And it's like it's always a mixture of up and downs of different, like,
so it's like trying, like, I mean, one of the main core principles, I guess, to be able to train for fighting is being able to stay present during those moments.
Just be present in what you're doing. It is hard because it's like you're going to think about like back then or a couple weeks ago or your last training sessions or bro, even just personal shit. Yeah, just personal shit. My mom, my dad, a girl broke up with me. I love with my life. Like that happens a lot, bro. It's like you're in the training. Like I've been there, and then I've been there where I've seen my homies that come in the gym and they're just there. They're dead, they're down, their heads down. I'm like, yo, what's up? He's like, dude, my girl. And I'm like, oh, God.
Dude, sometimes that shit weighs more than the actual process of training. Like
bro,
that,
it really does sometimes.
Like that personal life shit that when your girl breaks up with you or dad or the job or because at the beginning, especially in the early stages of anything that you're trying to do on your own, like fighting or something creative or something that's not producing income, you have that job as well, and or whatever the case may be, like the stresses of outside life sometimes, in my opinion, can weigh more than the actual training. Because I mean, I'm assuming there's a really good part of it. Like, yeah, you get bored, you get injured, but I'm assuming that you enjoy the training.
You enjoy the training, yeah.
Like if you could put it in a vacuum, like the outside issues and just have training, I'm sure that you would enjoy going to training.
Oh yeah, for sure, for sure. You definitely would enjoy going to training. It's literally those stuff, the outside. It's the idea of it. It's like if I'm going to go train because I want to get better, I want to spar, I want to do this, oh, cool. But now you're thinking like, okay, I'm going to go train, but now I'm going to train because I have to fight. There's a big difference. Training to go train and then training to go fight.
That's different. What's that difference like? What do you think of
the difference is because it's the pressure.
Right.
That's what it is. It's the pressure. It's the nerves.
Does it take away like the enjoyment of training?
It can. It definitely can, because then at that point training is not about having fun. It's just it doesn't matter if it sucks. It doesn't matter. It's about just making it. If anything, it's about if it sucks, good. Because the more you can deal with this, the better. When that goes in there, now you're gonna have fun.
Right.
So 9 minutes, 5 minutes, 15 minutes, you're in there. You've been in the gym killing yourself, going through misery for what? How many months?
Yeah.
You know, it's like compared to 15 minutes, that's all you're doing it for. So it's like just have fun in there.
It's a double-edged sword, man.
It really is.
You're training under that pressure, and you're probably not enjoying the training as much as you would if you're doing it for fun.
Yeah.
But at the same time, that's what's probably getting you better.
And that's what's gonna make you enjoy the actual fight. You go in there, you're athletic, you feel fluid, you feel moved. You're like, oh wow, I feel great.
So you enjoy the fight?
I enjoy the fight. I enjoy the fight itself. I actually it's the build up. It's the process. It's the when you get there, it's like you're in the back and you're warming up and you're like, bro, I haven't fought already. That's how it was in my life. I was like, I haven't fought already. You serious? Like, it felt like 3 weeks felt like 2 months. It felt like the longest 3 weeks of my life. Yeah. I was like, yo, what are we doing here? Like, I told her, if we could just fight in the parking lot right now, just people could just film it and, oh, look, they fought. And I get it over with. Oh, thank God. I'd be happy. But it was just, it's the one I start walking out and actually step in there, everything feels normal. Yeah,
I guess it's also a psychological thing that when you're ready approaching the fight, your brain already starts.
Yeah, because at that point you're realizing that it's like a fight or flight.
Right.
So it's like there's no choice, and it's like, bro, I'm not a bitch. I'm not just gonna be like. There's so many parts of you that are gonna be like, just say no.
Right.
And it's like, I can't say no. I said yes, and this is what I want to do. So it's like, what's making me want it? You know, it's like you what is his name? David Goggins say you gotta fight that inner bitch.
Yeah, right.
He's got to be like, no, sit the fuck down. You got this, you know. But because it's exciting, it's all great, it's all fun. You're walking out there, you see the people cheering for you, you know, and like you feel in shape, you feel the best you've ever felt, especially after you hydrated after a weight cut.
Right.
Now your body's like, oh, you sleep great, you felt great, everything was good. That whole part is fun.
Yeah.
It's just the build up. The training sucks. You're training till you're so late at night. You come back home, then you gotta work in the next morning, and then you get out of work, you gotta go train, and then your diet, you can't eat anything you want.
Oh, dude, that's what one of the main reasons I will never be a fighter is because
the food.
Mainly because I don't want to get my ass kicked and I don't want to get punched in the face. I'm really against it.
That's fine. Trust me. It's not that fun all the time. It's really not. It's not that fun all the time.
But also the diet, dude.
Yeah, the diet. It is the hardest part. It's because that's like a bodybuilder would say. It's like the hardest part is not really lifting. Like I can go in the gym and lift the weight. You know, it's like it's just being detailed with your macros, your food, what I'm supposed to eat, what I'm not supposed to eat. I'll go out to eat and I'm always that guy. It's like, oh, they got burgers, French fries, mac and cheese. Oh yeah, shakes, and I got me a glass of wine. I got me a steak. I got me some veggies. I got me a nice little salad on the side.
This for a glass of wine. You're like,
a nice little glass of wine like this.
Is that the size?
That's it. Well, it's about this, but then I'll have another one just like that. There's two of these, but just this. Just real quick, you know. But I'm always like, why are you being so fancy? I'm like, I'm not being fancy. I'm eating healthy. It's a big difference. It just happens to, you know. Good thing about me is that I'm not a picky eater.
Oh, that's good.
So it's like I'll
wait, you're saying you're eating healthy?
Yeah, like eating healthy, like just, you gotta eat good meat. So good meat for me.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
So like when I'm
during the weight cut.
Yeah, not, like when I'm outside of the weight cut and I'm in camp, it's like I'm that guy who's like it's like I'm still picky on what I want to go to a restaurant. Cool, we go to a restaurant.
I see what you're saying.
But like I'm only gonna eat this out of that menu. I'm not gonna eat what you're gonna eat or everyone else eats the majority.
Which is smart, dude.
It is smart. It feels better. And like I said,
takes off the weight cut.
I'm not. It makes weight cutting easy. I mean, I don't cut a lot of weight.
No? What do you usually cut?
I walk around like 140, so it's a 15-pound cut.
Oh, 15 pounds. I mean, but you do it in
extensions. Yeah, exactly. Which I did. It's usually super easy for me. Like, it'll be It'll be like 2 months out. I could lose 5 pounds every 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And then it's like and then I can just maintain, or I could just lose 5 pounds, maintain 10 pounds, and then just cut the 10 pounds in a week. And then so that when I cut weight, I get hydrated. I feel good again. I'm back to a solid, strong weight.
Water load that last week.
Exactly. But I don't really cut a lot of weight. I did one time because you
walk around 140, but you compete at 135? At 125?
Yeah.
120. That weight class, dude, is such a crazy weight because I'm a huge fan of the lighter weights. Because I think that the expression of martial arts at that weight class is. I had this discussion with Danny, but I believe that I like the lower weights because I think that the technical ability that those weight classes have and the expression in terms of speed, flexibility, and just technical.
They're just a little bit more technical and everything. I tend to see that a lot with like
no, and I've rolled with you before, and it's like that.
It's like we're just like it's jittery. I'm a jittery guy.
I don't want to call it jittery, man. I think that you're really flexible. You know what which is something I'm going to ask you, but you know what you're doing. Like you're no scrub, obviously.
I appreciate that,
right? But you know what you're doing. And you get out of things in a way that it's extremely unorthodox. At least for me, and maybe because I'm a bigger guy, maybe because I'm not a professional athlete. But the way that you get out of things are things that I haven't witnessed before.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
I try to, man, because the thing with my training is like, because I know in my mind it's like they say you want to go in there and believe you're the best, and it's like I believe I have what it takes and the skill to be the best for sure, but it's like there's so many people out there that I train with, and I'm like, bro, this guy's better than me. It's like I just can't say he's not better than me.
But
like,
I think
and I think what I feel, I guess when you say like, oh, I'm like I know things, I'm aware. It's like it's only just because I get my ass whooped by anybody I can.
Yeah.
Oh, this guy's good. Let me spar him. Let's go. Let's train. Let's get some drills in. And then he's going to show me something. He's going to teach me something. We're going to spar. I'm going to give him some good work. He's going to give me some good work. Next week, I spar a different guy that's ranked, good, undefeated, blah, blah, blah. So it's like if I'm always exposing myself with someone that's like experienced, a little more experienced than me, just at that level above with a good record, someone that's well-rounded, it's like, okay, cool. I don't care if I get my ass whooped because when my performance ups with all of them, then I know it's like I'm learning. I know I'm actually getting my brain more exposed. So when someone comes here and does something, I know they're not going to do anything I haven't seen before.
Yeah.
Well, if they caught me clean. But it's not like I didn't see it, or it's not like I wasn't,
Dude, there's a balance like that belief that you think that you have to think that you're the best. You got to think you're the best at the level that you're going to compete at, right? So like in order to be the best at the level that you compete at, you have to expose yourself to a higher level, right?
Always.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So like you can say like, oh, I believe I'm the best at the level that I'm going to compete at. But that's only because you expose yourself to higher levels consistently.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? So like I don't think it's fair to be like, oh, you believe you're the best, but also this guy kicks my ass. It's like, yeah, but you're putting yourself at a higher level so that when you compete at the level that you compete at,
that you show that you're the best because exactly. You got to put yourself in like deep waters, It's
exactly,
like,
dude.
You have to, bro. It's like that's the only way you're gonna learn. It's the only way you're gonna learn. You can. Everyone feels good. Everyone likes to feel good.
What's possible.
Yeah, exactly. And everyone likes to feel good. That's the issue. It's like if training is fun, but like a part of training is not always feeling good, especially with like what's like strength training, right? It's like strength training for me, I love strength training. I think it's fun. I think it's great. It is hard. And it is a little like rough at times, especially with legs. I love anything with legs, explosive.
You like leg days?
I love leg days, bro.
Dude, that's a rare breed.
I know, I love leg days. Like when she tells me it's full body or legs, I get excited because I know I'm gonna get a sweat going. I know it's gonna be hard. I know I'm gonna be barely walking.
Yeah.
And I know it's like, and I guess because I've had like injuries on my legs, I know that whatever I'm doing, it's just keeping it strong. It's keeping it healthy. But it's like there's still days where it's like just because I love it, I know it's gonna be like, yo, this is gonna be rough. Like it's just gonna be rough. And it's like that with my head coach too, and with Elvin. Oh my God, bro! When I first started training with Elvin, oh my gosh, man! There was days you come in on a Sunday and it was like, all right, we're gonna do the private from this time to this time, and then we're gonna do another private. Then after that, we're gonna run 3 miles, and after that, we're going back to another class.
What do you mean by private?
Because he would have he'd do private lessons with other like people. Yeah. So I would show up early and I'd just jump in on every lesson. So I'd jump in on every lesson, and then before that, when all the other main students start to come in, we all hit a good 3 mile run. And after the 3 mile run, we'll do conditioning.
Is that for wrestling though?
Yeah.
That was all wrestling?
That was all for wrestling. So
wrestling for MMA.
Yeah, for MMA. Okay. And then it would be conditioning wrestling. So that is pure wrestling, but it's all conditioning. So it's like,
and that's a different type of conditioning, bro.
Oh my God, man. I have to, get slammed, get up, get slammed, get up. And then I have to slam you, watch you get up, slam you, I have to carry somebody, swing them side to side, pick you up, do lunges. And it's like, it's a lot of body weight. It's a lot
that's a different
pushing the pace
of conditioning, because you like, let's say you do strength and conditioning, which is great, right? You lift the weights, you do deadlifts, you do high intensity.
Yeah.
But when it comes to wrestling, drilling, bro, you're not only lifting the person, you're getting slammed too.
I'm slammed. Yeah, I'm getting slammed. I'm getting picked up. I'm throwing them. I'm getting pushed. It's like you're working your body in every... To a little detail, you're working your body in every sense of like what it's going to be used for. Like, my balance, my core, my legs, my upper body, my back, my neck, everything's being used. Everything.
So when you started, like, because now that we're talking about wrestling, you started mainly striking first, right? Mm-hmm. And then at 16, you had your first kickboxing fight?
Muay Thai, yeah.
Muay Thai fight. When did you jump into MMA, and when did like the grappling come in?
So when I joined...
so you had to make a decision. Like I'm assuming.
Yeah, there was like a MMA decision. Yeah,
like, I'm gonna do MMA.
I'm gonna do this fight for sure.
Yeah.
When I was 16 and I was like I already had my first Muay Thai fight, and when I first started joining that karate school.
Yeah.
I think the sensei was like a purple belt or brown belt in jiu-jitsu. So he was karate, like high level karate. Like his sensei was was training partners with Bruce Lee. Like really like legit karate. Had to like. He had Elio Gracie at his house. I was a jiu-jitsu guy.
Who's this guy?
Yeah, his name's Angel Gonzalez. He owns AKI Miami.
AKI.
Yeah, it's not that far. Okay. I think. And his wife is like a high-level Olympic qualifier in Taekwondo. So it's like she got a picture of her like doing a side kick up there.
Yeah.
Like not like a normal side kick, like up there,
and it goes backwards.
She's
kicking somebody that's tall behind her.
She's trying to say, "What's up, guys?" Like it was crazy. So it's like but he was like purple belt or brown belt in jiu-jitsu at the time.
Damn.
So he was always like, "All right, we're done jiu-jitsu now." Every karate class, like twice a week there was jiu-jitsu class right after the karate class, and then there was jiu-jitsu and then tournament training. So we'd compete at New Breed, Naga, all jiu-jitsu, all the kids, all the teenagers. And we were the only gym going to a jiu-jitsu tournament, getting medals and new breed belts, and we're not ranked in jiu-jitsu at all. So that's where I was doing my jiu-jitsu.
So you started jiu-jitsu at what, 14?
Like 13.
14?
Like 13.
So you had grappling experience, like going in, you did the kickboxing, but at some point you were like, I want to do this MMA shit.
Yeah, because I was like, all right, because you're not allowed to have an MMA fight unless you're 18. So I was like, okay, I'm 16. I want to fight. Muay Thai, cool. So then, and I already had like a couple jiu-jitsu tournaments because I was training like at the karate place, and they would make you like they train you, and then they have you do some tournaments. I already did like 2 new breeds, 1 Naga, or like 4 new breeds, 1 Naga, and actually I think it was like 6 new breeds and 1 Naga. Jeez. It was mostly new breeds.
Yeah.
So I did like 7 tournaments, and then like I hadn't competed since in jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
But then it was like just train jiu-jitsu, train this, and then and then I just kept doing Muay Thai fights until I turned 18.
Oh, so your first fight was at 18?
Yeah.
It wasn't
at 17? MMA fight. So my first Muay Thai fight was 16, and then 17 I had another one for Combat Night because I fought for them like Muay Thai.
Oh, cool.
And then what's it called? I had like, what was it?
But all in your mind that you were like,
this is all just so I could do MMA. Yeah, just for cage experience. Yeah, just so I could go out there and I'd be like, oh, I've done this before.
Right.
Oh, this is normal, So 18 came around and I was like, oh, kids are so excited. Like, I'm 18, I get to boom, and everyone kept telling me, it's different, dog. And it's like, I know it's different. That's why I want to do it. I was like, stop telling me it's different. Like, I'm supposed to be scared. This isn't scary.
That's a good point that they try to talk you out of it.
Yeah, it was like a lot of people will try to talk you out of it.
Were they fighters?
Even your parents. Yeah,
oh, dude, especially your parents.
Especially your parents. Like, like you get hurt and your dad's like, well, I guess this is a sign. I'm like, shut up. We're not having this conversation,
Yeah.
My mom.
Parents, dude. Parents they care.
Are like that. Yeah, they care. So everything comes from a place of caring.
Look,
so it's
I have 4 kids. Like you met 3 of them, but I have 4 kids, right?
Yeah,
they're somewhere.
They're everywhere.
They're somewhere. They might pop up behind the couch. We don't know. Dude.
What's up,
I have no control. Let's put it. It's not a ghost. It's my son. Don't worry.
It's my son.
But I have kids, and I train jiu-jitsu. I've never really trained striking. I did karate when I was little, but I never really trained striking. But even then, I would, if they came up to me, and I love the sport of MMA, dude, and I have friends that are fighters and shit, and like I wouldn't, dude, it'd be a really hard pill to swallow.
Yeah, I mean, even now, some like I have, because I
not that I would let them.
No, and it's you let them do what they want, you know. But it's like you're gonna let them know, like it's not what you think it is.
You're 18, bro. You gotta do what you gotta do.
Exactly, yeah. Because I have 2 jobs, right? Like I'm a supervisor, and then at UPS, and then I went like this. I went to point, and I ended up like that's not what I'm doing. It's like,
I'm a supervisor.
Like, oh shit, I'm a supervisor. That's fucking.
I believe you. You don't have to.
It's like I believe you. I believe you. I'm a supervisor, and then my second job is that I teach teenagers that eventually want to compete at a gym, like
what's the name of the gym?
Close to the Metro Zoo, like on 137th.
Okay, what's the name of the gym?
It's called Miami W&B.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, so I used to.
That's an MMA school.
Yeah, it's an MMA school. Yeah. So I teach the MMA program and the wrestling program there.
Oh shit.
Which is like mostly for like teenagers and like kids like no younger than 8, because it's like I don't like teaching kids, to be honest.
You need patience, bro.
Even
8 is kind of tough too.
That was like my limit. I'm like, bro, I'm not like an 8-year-old.
7? No way.
I got 10-year-olds over there, but 8 maybe. Some of them are mature. A lot of these kids, they come in, they're very smart, and they're like, all right, cool, I could work with you because like you're a smart kid, you know. But like these kids, you know, I don't know. Everyone grows a little different, but there's some kids where they're just a little. Oh man, get the heck out of here, you know what I mean?
It's a maturity thing, dude.
Yeah, it's a maturity thing. But when I was training in Florida City at the gym, they had me teach classes there, so I was teaching only kids. So that got me
striking.
Striking. Well, MMA. I always taught kids MMA.
Yeah.
I always taught them how to shoot and sprawl and like get a little basic chokes in, but mostly like striking base, you know, so they could defend themselves.
Yeah.
But I got used to that with them because I did not like teaching kids ever. So I got used to it with them, teaching kids for like years with them. Like I taught kids there for like 3-4 years.
Yeah.
And then, you know, a bunch of things happened later on. I stopped teaching, then I kept training, and then I left the gym.
Yeah.
And then now I'm teaching teenagers, and I love it because I get teenagers that like they know how to do things.
Teenagers who are at sports is
good, and it's like they know how, they go to wrestle, they wrestle in high school, they come back, they learn how to strike, they learn how to kick. So it's like it's easier for me to teach them because now I can teach them the things that like I want, and I can teach them my mistakes.
Right.
And it helps me look at my mistakes too. Right. It's like I'm seeing them things that I did, and I'm like, this is what you should do.
Right.
Blah blah blah, and they fix it, and I'm just like, it's nice.
It gives you that advantage, that third person view.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I should do it. So it's like it's really cool to just like to see them, but to even then, some of them be like, Coach, when am I gonna fight? And I'm like, do you really want to fight? Dude, it's a lot, dude.
There's an idea behind fighting. Like I think, especially when you train, like at that age, you have this like you come to this idea. Cause it's happened to me when I was a fucking blue belt. Like, dude, fighting would be awesome, but you don't really understand. Like
it sucks.
I think you fall in love with the idea of a fighter. You know what I mean? With going out and beating the shit out of somebody else, or you know, competing against somebody else, and becoming, because that's a raw experience.
Yeah, it's
like it's either
weird.
win or lose. And if you win, it's because you beat the shit out of somebody, or you won by points, whatever. But you dominated in your performance, right?
You definitely
in fighting.
In fighting.
And as at least I can only speak for as a man, that's like the ultimate. You know,
as a man, it's like oh, okay, like I'm a man, right? I'm a freaking man. You feel me?
So
like, I just fought someone and I won. Like
that idea of it is very attractive, especially to teenagers that are,
especially to young boys. Like you're 15, 14, 18, 16. You're like,
right, dude.
You just beat the hell out of somebody.
But they don't understand like the what's behind the scenes of like the nerves. They don't understand like the ramifications of fighting that come with it if you don't do it right. Like if you don't focus on how important it is to be a good defensive fighter, like the defensive in the sense that your defense are up to par with whoever you're fighting, right? You don't want to be taking licks and shit.
For all the time.
You know what I mean?
All the time.
They don't understand that. And
they don't get it.
So many of them will say like, yeah, I want to be a fighter, but I think that's probably what happened to you when they were like, are you sure? Dude, it's different.
Yeah, it is.
They're kind of testing like to see if you understood what it encompasses to be a fighter. Yeah. Which is fair, man.
I always tell people, it's like, if you want to fight, cool, but make sure you only have the goal of competing once. At least that. Then after that, you'll decide if you actually want to do that. Because when I was going to fight, my first fight, my coach looked at me and goes, "Don't remember, after this, I'll tell you if this is for you or not."
Yeah.
And you know, I finished the fight. It was my first Muay Thai fight. It was fight of the night. The kid got a belt. I didn't win, but it was fight of the night.
Either way.
We put on a show.
Yeah.
But it was like, you know, I'm looking around. I'm like, yo, this is so fun. I'm like, yo, me and this kid, and we slugged it out. It was my first fight, so you're so tired.
Did you have it's obviously it's amateur, 16.
Yeah. So it was amateur, and we had shin guards and headgear at the time, and bro, like it was your first time. You're so exhausted that the last 30 seconds, you're just me and this guy were just. Everything was just sloppy, but bro, it was a great time. So that's how I knew I kind of liked it, because it's not like I was like, damn, that kind of sucked. I was just immediately like, bro, this was great, you know. And I try to tell my main, I guess like my star student or whatever. Yeah. he's like a little brother to me, so he's annoying, pain in my ass. But he's just like, coach, I want to fight, and I'm like, he's 15, so I'm like, all right, I'll prepare you, I'll train you right, you know. And whenever I get a chance to take you with me, I'll take you with me. But it's like, you gotta understand, you're 15. You know, you don't have a job.
Right.
You live at home. You know, you just go to school. All you do is go to school and train. So it's like, things got hard when it's like, now you got a job, you got to pay for your car, you got to pay for broken shit. Then you get a girl, she hurts your heart. Then your parents are mad at you. Then you're not going to school, or you slack in school. And then, you know, now you can't afford to do this, can't afford to go that. How are you going to go here? How are you going to go there? Got to ride your bike there. You got to make it to classes. You know, it's like there's so many things that are coming that I know he hasn't gone through. So in my mind, I'm like, I don't know if you really want to do this. I think you just think you do. But he's also very talented and good at it. So it's like, it makes sense why, because, you know, I have them spar all the time, they train all the time, and they're good, you know, they're good. But it's like, bro, I had to ride my bike miles just to go to the gym, and then ride it right back in the middle of the night. That sucked. That sucked, you know.
That's so true. Like when you make that, that's a good point. Like when you make that decision, because one thing is that your parents are taking you to train and you love it. They want you to be in shape. They want you to learn how to defend yourself. But when you make that decision that I'm going to dedicate my life to this, you know what I mean? All those responsibilities of life that come upon you at the age that you have, like let's say you have rich parents and let you train, that's awesome. But the reality for most people is that you're going to have to figure your way out around life. And I think that that's, for most fighters,
that's the hardest thing. Is how do I balance that my life with training?
Do you think that's the main reason for attrition when it comes to like quitting fighting? It's the life thing, the life component of it.
Yeah, because I feel like for most people they fight like
after, let's say we take away the people that have already done their first fight, because I'm assuming there's a huge drop off rate, or I'm pretty sure there's a huge drop off rate after the first fight. I remember there was a statistic, like I think it was like 70% or 80% of people that do MMA for the first fight, like their first fight. And this was years ago. It could be more now, less now, but they were like 80 or 70% don't ever fight again. That's that first fight.
I think is that. So that's why I say take that first fight.
Right. So take in consideration the people that they like it, and then they go into a second fight, and they go into third or whatever. Do you think that the main reason that they quit fighting and not pursue it is that it's such a long time frame in your life that you have to be self-sufficient and accountable of life, and not so much the sport itself?
Yeah, 100%. Because it also depends on your intentions with fighting too. It's like, what do you want to do with fighting? Do you just want to fight because you want to fight, or do you want to fight because you want to be world champ? There's two different intentions, right? Some people be like, I just want to compete. Like, I just want to know what it feels like to get in there. I just want to have some experience, and you know, I'm a martial artist, so I'm gonna be training my whole life. They're like, they know they're not going to be champion, or they don't care to reach a 10. They just want to be able to, I'm a martial artist. I need to go out there and fight someone to show myself that I know how to do what I know how to do.
Right.
So it's like, okay, cool. Yeah, go ahead and fight. Yeah. Doesn't matter. Fight whenever you want. Train and just train. I'll still treat you, you know, champion level mentality and all that. But it's like, we're not here thinking you're going to make it to the UFC, even if you are capable of it.
Right.
You know? But then there's other people that are like, I want to be champion. But then it's like, bro, you're 1-3, and you're 32 years old, and you're barely trained. You don't have your schedule's a little mixed up everywhere. Your job is always this and that. It's like,
realistic.
You gotta, it's like, I'm not trying to be negative, but I want you to look at your life and think about, like, where do you think, because fighters retire right before 40, 38, 37, 36, 35. Those are the ages where it's like, all right, now I'm about to retire.
There was a study on the last podcast that I did with Ben Stark, the one before this one. He grew up in the early times of like ATT,
Okay.
ATT. When ATT started, bro.
Yeah.
Like this guy, he has his own gym now.
ATT was ATT, the big.
Before it was that. Like he started when it was like Hermes Franca and a bunch of other names. And he started when it was like small. And he grew up. He went to the Ultimate Fighter too, one of the seasons. Damn. So this guy was explaining to me like there's a time frame of which there's an expectancy, and this could have been. He told me about a study that it could have changed during whenever he read the study, but there's a 9-year gap that you have as a fighter. And after that 9-year gap, there's a huge drop. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So like that 9-year gap, like fighting professional.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, professionally. You know what I mean?
So when you start that 9-year gap, you have to be realistic. You have to this is the 9-year time frame. I need to execute on this time frame or whatever. Mm-hmm. So like the prep going in is so important before you start that professional career. Yeah. Like how long have you been training? Like how long have you been dedicating your life to this? And where is your life when you start that 9-year session? Yeah, you know what I mean. Like,
yeah, a lot of people don't know when that 9 years starts. You know, they just and I'm just like I didn't know where it started, but I guess for me it was like when I turned 18 because it's like I started at 16.
I don't think so. I disagree. You know why? Because I think that you're getting into the pro fights now.
Yeah, that's true. Like
I think that everything you've done is prep for what's coming right now. You know what I mean? I think that this has all been preparing you for that 9-year frame. Yeah. Like if I were going to define what that 9-year time frame, and that's not putting limits on you. You're still young.
Oh no, yeah, I know. I'm just like I know everyone's time is different, but I know I got time. Yeah, so it's like I'm still like all right, I'm chilling. And like, bro, I got a lot of fights. I got 13 fights.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like that's I think that's a good foundation before we start. Let's say that time frame. That let's say if the data is correct. Yeah. That you had those 9 years. I think that you have a good foundation. Yeah. To then start that.
Go ahead, boom, next set, boom. Now is the coming of the starting the 9 years.
Yeah, I would say that.
Yeah, because I would have like if like I'm 24, 34. If I plan on retiring by like 38, you know, then it's like all right, this is about that 9 year. It's about it's about a start. So it's
exactly.
Like I feel like you said, like I've had a good build up and a good base. Yeah. Especially now because it's like, you know, like between 18 and like 22. It was so much of everything, you know, not only between like job and girls and your family and it's like life really, especially when you're not used to it, right, bro. It was chaotic for me. I don't know where it was just a lot of shit going on. There's so much shit going on. So now it's like, oh, all that was just so I could be where I'm at now, grace of God. And now it's just like, oh, this is perfect. Like now I'm unfazed with anything.
Yeah, dude, it's like you were setting up.
I'm just unfazed.
Because when you make that decision, like, oh, I'm going to pursue fight, and I'm assuming from my commentary from a couch, you know what I mean, not actually doing it. I'm assuming that when you make that decision that, oh, I'm going to become a fighter, the rearrangement of your life, just by moving around training, just your training times, already you have to make adjustments about your work, because that becomes your main focus, right? So your work, where you work, what you do, all these things start to change, and then your life has to adapt to those changes. Yeah. And then you have to learn how to live that way. And then once you learn how to live that way is when you can start, okay, now I know how to do this. Now I can start progressing in the manner that I want.
Yeah, I tell people, like, you really got to know, like, if this is what you could, for instance, right, like my main job, I work at my main job, pays me my check every week, all that I moved up in the company just so I can train more. I don't work at that job because it's just a good job. You know, I work there because it allowed me to train the way I train right now.
So you got the promotion. You were in your mind like, I'm going to get a promotion because
I got the job because of training, and then the promotion made it even better.
Yeah, I was like, I'm getting the promotion so that I can train more.
Exactly. That's literally what it is. People are like, I go to the meetings at my job, and they're like, oh, you know, if you want to move up in the company, I'm like, bro, I'm only here because I got to train. I'm like, relax, buddy.
You got to leave. I'll do my job exactly the way I need to do it right now.
And that's it.
That's good. I'll keep it there.
As soon as I clock out. Yeah. This was yesterday, dog. Because it's so early in the morning at work that if, like, right now, it feels like this morning shift felt like yesterday.
So how's your schedule look like?
I mean, every day I'm up by like 4. Yeah, I'm up by like 4, so I could be at work at like 4:45, 5 o'clock. Then I get out like closer to 11, and then from there I go home. I make breakfast real quick, you know, make sure my mom's good. Yeah. Go to jiu-jitsu. Then I'll go lift. Then I go teach. Then I'll train. And the schedule kind of varies.
Lift?
Jiu-jitsu, lift, and train. So work, jiu-jitsu, lift, train.
Fuck, so you're starting your day at 4 o'clock. You get out at 11, you eat, you go to jiu-jitsu, you lift.
Then I'll teach.
then you teach, and then I'm assuming you have like a night training.
I'll have a night training. Yeah, depends on the day. For the
So
most
you're
part,
ending,
I'll have a
bro.
night
You're
training.
ending like at fucking what? You get
Like,
home like at 10?
I'll get home like at 10:30. Yeah,
and then pass out.
Yeah, I mean if I can, because sometimes it's like it's so man, it's so weird because your body functions so weird sometimes, right? I'll be at 10:30 and then I'll just be there like damn, I'm not asleep yet, you know.
Yeah,
but that's where you know, taking care of yourself is also very important. You know, you gotta take good vitamins, you gotta eat right, you gotta drink lots of water.
Too much vitamins.
The magnesium,
yeah,
I recommend helps me go to sleep.
No, that's good. I got 4 kids. I'm passing out where I can. I might pass out now.
That's another thing though. It's like at nighttime when it's time for me to go to sleep, I'll be awake, so I'll just put on a show, whatever. But then during the day, when I'm doing anything, bro, anything, I will fall asleep. When I think it was like when I had just turned 21. So like I never went out clubbing. I never experienced, not even to the 18 and older and anything like that. I never did it. I was always a fuck it type of person. So what do you guys want to do? All right, fuck it.
Yeah.
What do you want to do that? Fuck it. So
you weren't like a party animal when you were
no, I'm just a chill guy. I'm just a chill guy. I just vibe. I just vibe according to the situation.
Dude, but that probably also helped you, like, in terms of what you did to your body and going out and all that stuff. You probably saved like a bunch of
shit. I saved a lot of energy.
A lot of
energy, bro. I have friends that literally caught me sleeping in the club. Like I'm talking about, there's the corner of the club. Like my homegirl, she's talking to a dude, right? It's been game right. Yeah. My homeboy's over there. He's got a girl dancing on him, whatever. And then they look over, and I'm just here like this, and I have a drink in my hand, sleeping like this. I remember I woke up and I was like, "Oh God." You took a sip and I was like, yeah, it's like there's still talking shit. I was like, because I didn't have a ride. I would have been home. I'd left home at that point.
Yeah,
I was so tired. But yeah, even at work, when I used to before I was a supervisor, I'd work in the trailers. I'd throw packages in there, and then on break time, you know, I'd just get 10-minute breaks. I'll put a package up there and I'll use it as a pillow, and I'll just knock the fuck out in 10 minutes. Some guy came up to me next to me. He's like, "Yo," and I'm like, "What's up?" He's like, "Are you a wrestler?" And I'm like, "I mean, I do something like that, yeah." He's like, "Why?" And he's like, "Every single one of you motherfuckers I met, you guys sleep everywhere." And I was like, "Damn."
Dude, but it's true, man.
Yeah, I was like, "Bro, we're tired."
Yeah, bro,
we're tired.
The training you have.
My energy goes to just going out to eat, chilling, vibing, or just my
Dude, but there's also like an element of when you get home. That's kind of like you've gone through training, you've gone through work, you've gone through when you get that home at 10 or whatever. That's like your me time. Yeah. So your body kind of wakes up and is like,
that's why it's hard to sleep sometimes.
Dude, yeah, sometimes like this is the only time I have
that I get to just watch this and do this and read this.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
chill,
me time,
talk,
bro.
Yeah, and then it's like someone wants to, you know, hang out for a little bit. I'm like, fuck it, it's an hour, you know, and it's my little me time because you want to make up for the time lost. Right. But it's like, it's just a lot. It's a lot, but it is hard. You got to manage your time wisely. You got to make sure you choose right days, recovery days, days where you get to focus on your actual personal life, because it's like one thing I noticed is that like if you can really focus hard on training, but you have to make sure that your personal life complements it, you know, like, okay, yeah, manage it, but you cannot let one overlap the other. Mm-hmm. So if training starts overlapping my personal life, then at some point I'm not going to be able to train because my personal life isn't up. Same thing. If my personal life is, you know, like if I'm over focusing it and then I'm not focusing on training, then by the time it takes for me to train, now it's like, oh shit, like I feel I start getting hurt more. Mm-hmm. Training's not the same, doesn't feel good. Yeah. You realize you slacked. Like you gotta really.
That's probably the best approach. Like if you have this type of lifestyles, you really got to keep your personal life simple. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Make sure it's like good people.
Personal life simple.
People understand.
But like you also got to keep like. Because everyone's training is different, you feel me? Not everyone has a strength coach. Mm-hmm. Not everyone has more than one coach. Mm-hmm. Some people just have my coaches. You know, I know fighters where like their coaches are their dad. Mm-hmm. And that's it. Yeah. That's their dad. It's your wrestling coach, your jiu-jitsu coach, your striking coach. And then, you know, he goes with you everywhere. He teaches you, and then you train with other people. So it's like, it's different for everybody, but you have to really make sure that I'm consistent, more importantly, and I'm like aggressively consistent. Yeah, you know, like if I'm gonna show up late, did you show up anyway? Yeah, you know, if I'm hurt and I can't train, did you show up anyway? Right. You know, it's like if you
can always do something.
Like you can always do something. Yeah. But like, are you trying to show up and still observe, learn, watch, physically be a part of something. You know, I can't do legs, I can do upper body. I hurt my shoulder, I can jab and I can kick.
Yeah.
I can't grapple, I can watch and go over the moves, watch videos, study.
Right.
You know, I could go through motions, and it's like there's always something you can do, which is the beautiful thing about like martial arts.
Right.
It's always something you can do.
Dude, that's a good point that you bring up. Like, it's the intentionality behind your training, because there's probably a lot of people that show up to training and just like go through the motions, but they're not looking to actively get better in their training.
Yeah, they're just going through the motions. Some people just go there just because it's a social club.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, they're just
like
trying
fighters?
to get. Yeah, they're just trying to get away from the wife, the girl. Right. They're just trying to get away from life. It's a good place just to get away and just laugh and, you know, talk good shit, or just get your stress out.
Yeah.
It's really, sometimes their main motion is not to get better. It's just, I just need to get stress out.
Yeah.
Which is, for a lot of people, it's very helpful.
It would be fighters. It would be like hobbyists.
It would be a lot of hobbyists, but like that's another thing where it's like you can't get into the habit of being a competitive athlete and going there for reasons that are not for getting better.
I see what you're saying.
So now it's like life is hitting you, this and that, and it's like, oh, I just want to come to the gym and just get some stress out or just talk shit. It's like, yeah, you could be there for that, but it's like you also got work to do.
Right.
You also have this probably lined up. You also have this goal, this and this that you're trying to become. You can't do that if you're going in there like, oh, it's a perfect time just to release and get some stress out. Right. Like, nah,
I see what you're saying now.
You got to put in the work. Every time you're in there, you got to be aggressively consistent to put in the work and get better. Am I there to learn, you know?
Yeah.
Even if it's for 5 minutes.
Right.
If I show up 10 minutes left of class.
Yeah.
Can I just go over a move? What did you show today? And then while I get home, on the drive back, maybe I'm home alone with my brother. Yo, let's practice this real quick. Blah, blah, blah. You know, it's like, but you got to just make sure, am I there to do the work? Am I there to get better? Am I there to get better?
Yeah, that's a good point, man. Like, now that you say that how that personal life influences the way that you train, even if you have the intention of training well, like subconsciously you might go in just because you had a fucked up day.
Yeah.
You're like, dude, I just want to get away. But you have to take those days, and if I'm understanding you right, you got to take those days to go in to get better.
Yeah.
And have the intention, psychologically be like, I'm ready to get better today. Forget about this, and I got to focus on getting better today.
Yeah, you can't let anything like disrupt you. You only, like I said, you only focus on like the outside things as long as it's like, if it starts to fuck with you, or you need, you know, it's complementing.
Yeah.
You know, because it's like, all right, cool. Like I said, like my job is great, but it allows me the time that I need to train throughout the day.
Right.
And I can train throughout the day, and now my second job allows me to go over, review, because I'm teaching, and use the space to get more work in, more training in, train with other people. You know, I know guys that they don't have a set gym, and they don't have a set coaches. They go everywhere.
Oof.
They go everywhere. They spar, they train, they drill, and everywhere they go, they have specific people where they just train with all the time, because they know like they're like the best people for them in that gym. And bro, they just get so much better like that. Because at the end of the day, like when it comes to fighting, you could do all this and that. The main way to get better is just drills. Just drills. Go over sequences, go over moves, go over scenarios, and just go through the motions, go through the technique, the details. Once you get the hang of it, pick up the pace, make it real, make it live, spar. Go again, learn something new, put it like, keep building your tools. You know, like strength training helps, right? I love strength training. It is, oh my God, amazing. But most importantly, it just keeps you healthy and ready for fighting.
Right.
It's not really going to get you better.
Right.
Nothing's going to get you better than doing your sport.
Yeah.
Over and over.
Dude, I agree with that 100%.
You know
I agree with that 100%. I think I don't know if you know Cautera is.
Who?
Cautera. It's spelled like that. Cautera. He's actually a small dude. He's a small dude, black belt jiu-jitsu.
If I see a face, I'll probably.
Yeah, Cautera. He was one of my favorite competitors coming up, and he's like, dude, I don't do any strength training. I just do jiu-jitsu because that's the only way to get better at jiu-jitsu.
Yeah,
you know
just
what I mean?
repetition.
He got like that's really good. He's stylistically similar to the way that you train. Yeah,
small people
like,
shit.
No. I mean it. Like him and Bruno Malfacine. I don't know how to pronounce his last name. Malfacine. I'm sorry if you ever hear this, but those two guys are great for like not to preach to you, but like if you want to take a look at good jiu-jitsu players that are small, Kyle has a very similar style to you.
No, that's good. I like that you said that too, because a lot of people, like competitors, they try to like, I feel like mimicking is very important. Right?
Okay.
It's a good way to learn.
Yeah.
Like if you're starting off, try to mimic what the best do.
Right.
And then you can kind of figure out like, oh, this is why they do that, because you're trying to mimic them. You're trying to get them emotions. Now, a lot of the issues that like, there's no reason why a 155er should be trying to fight like Anderson Silva.
Right.
Who's a 6'2", 185er. It's like, you're a 55er, you're a short, stocky wrestler. Why are you trying to fight like Anderson Silva?
100%.
Just because you feel like it's going to get you better.
Yeah.
if I'm gonna watch somebody, I shouldn't be watching someone like Izzy or Charles Oliveira. You know, I gotta watch DJ, Peter Yan.
Which is my favorite fighter is DJ.
I love DJ. You gotta watch DJ, Peter Yan, Henry Cejudo, Davison Figueiredo. You gotta watch Ilia Topuria. You got guys like that are in the smaller brackets. They have a way they move, a way it's like, oh, this is how I'm supposed to kind of like move around. This is the things that they do because it's like size-wise, similarities, experience. It's like, okay, perfect.
Exactly.
You have to learn how to. You got to watch. You guys really, it's studying. It's like it's video footage. You got to study the greats, and you got to just try to replicate, mimic, see what they do, bro. I'm at a point where it's like I'm always like learning something new with something that I already been doing.
Right.
Like I've already been doing this, but yet now that I just watch it for a second, I'm like, oh, but I could use it to do this, and now it's like it's always mind blowing how little details. Like when you're young, when I'm teaching my students something, I'll teach them a move and they'll be like, you know so many moves.
Right.
And it's like the same way he reacts is when I figure out when I just watch like a footwork drill, I'm like, oh, I'm just supposed to step my foot here. Oh, I just got to push right here. And it's like that, it blows my mind the same way he sees a fancy move. Just the positioning is like blows my mind. It's like little details.
There's like I read somewhere that like innovation is not really a crazy, the way innovation works in terms of like your ideas. It's two ideas that you already have, like two sets of knowledge, two components of knowledge that you already have, that you're combining them to create something new.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So like, exactly what you're saying. Like it's crazy. Like if you're watching tape on somebody or you're training or whatever, you're getting knowledge from everywhere, and that knowledge you'll combine it together to innovate and create something new. So like, I think it's exactly what you're trying to say.
Yeah, and it's why I'm very grateful to have like the coaches that I have, because they're all like experts in their own realm, but they're all professional mixed martial artists, and they all know each other. So it's like I always, they told me this, I could, show it to you, communicate with you. And then it's like, I fight differently than all of them.
Right.
I fight more similar to my head coach because he's a 125er and like, the same size-ish type.
That's fucking good.
It is very good because he's if I got no training partner, he's my training partner.
That's great.
What I mean? So, but all my coaches, they're all like the best at what they do in their own thing. My strength coach for the strength training, my wrestling coach, my jiu-jitsu coach, my striking coach, but they're all professional mixed martial artists.
Right.
So it really helps to get the idea, the experience, the different knowledge from each and every one of them.
Right.
Because then it allows me to not only keep learning new tools and learning new details, but allows me to figure out more on my own. Like, this is what I take from you that is perfect for me.
Right.
I take from you that is perfect for me, and then I have a style that it's like with my coaches, but it's based off me, my personality.
You make changes and you make adjustments.
Yeah,
like,
which is
what you're learning.
Which is very detailed. Which is why fighters got to go in there making sure: am I here to like just train, or am I here to get better?
Yeah,
because at the end of the day, like you can be there to train and train hard and all that, but it's like, bro, if your focus is getting better, everything is gonna come right after that. I need to like, am I learning? Am I actually learning? Am I genuinely trying to figure something out? Yeah. Or just get better at what I'm doing and fixing my fuck ups.
Right.
Because a lot of people just focus only on what they're better at.
Yeah.
And it's like, but you can't slip punches.
Right.
You can't stop a takedown. It's like I see guys that they knock people out like first round, second round, third round, but then they fight that one guy that they could probably still beat, but he just didn't get knocked out in the first round or in the second. So now you're mentally challenged because now you're feeling a little retarded just because this guy's not going away.
Right.
And instead of just being a smart fighter and being technical, you're overthinking, you're exhausting yourself, and now you're having trouble in the fight to beat this guy because he didn't go away like all the others.
Yeah.
It's like you can't. It's like clearly you didn't work on your cardio. Clearly you didn't work on a game plan if you got tired, how to fight tired, how to like maneuver, how to recover. It's like so many things you have to go through.
Yeah.
But it's all about just, like I said, the intentions. Like show up, get better, and make sure that I'm putting myself in deep waters. I'm pushing myself.
Right.
Because bro, it sucks, but when you drive home at night, I feel so much better.
Yeah. You feel accomplished. You feel like you did what you needed to do in the day, and you got the benefit from the training.
It really does.
So I think we're actually a minute out from an hour.
Okay.
So, do you have anything coming up? Is there anything you want to talk about?
I do have my next
Promote your
fight.
shit.
My next fight coming April 20 something. I'm not.
Oh, you already got your next fight?
Yeah, it's already scheduled.
April? Damn, bro.
Yeah, soon. So I'm excited for it. Just ready.
Is it gonna be at what's the promotion?
No, not at Combat Night. It's gonna be. I forgot the name of the guy. His Instagram name is Puerto Rican Superstar. So it's his promotion.
Okay.
But I already have a fight lined up with one of his guys. So
here in Miami?
I think it's here in Miami.
Okay.
Here in Miami. So God willing, I go in there, I do the work. Is this one or maybe one more will be my last amateur.
Okay,
maybe.
okay. So this one, and then one more. I think you laid the foundation pretty well, man.
Yeah.
Well, you got.
I think
you're doing
excited,
it right,
man.
bro.
I feel excited.
I think you're doing. I don't think you're being impatient. I think you're
I'm
doing
not trying to be. You know, I feel like being impatient doesn't allow you to focus on the moment where you're supposed to be in the moment doing the work. You know, it's like, oh, I can't wait for this, and oh, I'm looking back at what I was supposed to do, and it's like, bro, you're here, just do the work.
Right,
you know,
right.
That's what gets you better. So I'm excited. I'm trying not to be impatient. You know,
Do you know the day? What was it? April
20 something. I'm not too
Shoot
sure.
me the address. Like this is gonna come out next Friday.
Okay.
So shoot me the address, and like wherever I can get like a link or whatever, so I can put it in the episode. Okay. So that way we have it there, and whatever the Beast Boy on Instagram, right? The Beast Boy?
Yeah.
Did you get that from Teen Titans?
Yeah.
Dude, I fucking love Teen Titans.
Bro, I was like, I see the Beast Boy, I'm like, bro, I freaking love this guy. Oh my God. And it's like,
that's the best one,
yeah, bro,
dude.
he's my favorite.
He's the best
my favorite. I'm gonna get
agree.
a tattoo of him like in mid-transformation on my calf.
That's a good idea.
That's what I want, like in half beast form and half his face
that's
form with
dope,
some like
dude.
red, like purple and green.
That's pretty dope.
Something like that. I'm like,
when I saw the Instagram, I'm like, this motherfucker got this from Teen Titans.
From Teen Titans, dog. 100%, dog.
Dude, I love
Teen Titans. I love Teen Titans.
All right, man. Well, thank you for coming on.
Appreciate
it was a
you,
great episode.
Hell yeah. Thank you, my dog.
You're always welcome back for whatever you want.
Oh yeah, just always hit.